Hi guys, welcome back, and we're now going to take everything we've learned. So we've learned these 5 full scale shapes based on the pentatonic, and we based it all on the A minor, didn't we? So in the next lesson we'll talk about moving that around and improvising with that. But first there's a massive gap that we need to fill, which is, okay, well what do we do with major? Okay, because obviously this is saying minor pentatonic, minor full scale. Well, the good news is that it's very, very simple, okay? It just takes a little bit of reworking of the brain because all the 5 pentatonic shapes and the 5 full scale shapes can be applied to major or minor, okay? And that's simply because on a theoretical level, the major and the minor are relatives, okay? So if we just look at a simple task of the A minor scale versus the C major scale, okay? The A minor scale is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, the C major scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, they're all the same. Those notes are exactly the same. And it's because they're relative major and minor. Okay, this is starting to just enter the world of modal scales. Okay, which is very, very simple really, but it does take a lot of applying to the guitar. We're not going to talk about that in detail now, but it's the principle that one scale, so let's say for example the C major scale, which is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, simple, okay, no sharps, no flats, that has got 7 notes in it. And depending on which one of those notes you start and end on, you get a different modal scale, okay? Now, that's all very well and good, but applying that can be hard. And the first thing we need to do is realize that the minor and the major, so the major scale and the minor scale, are part of the same scale, okay? So the C major scale, if you start on the 6th one along of the C major scale, that's an A. And if you play from A to A, so through those same notes, but from A to A, then you get the A minor scale, okay? Now, I don't want to blow your mind here because that can be quite hard to visualize. So let me put it really simply for you using these shapes, okay? If we take our A minor scale, 1 octave, okay? And if we take that same scale and start from this little finger instead of the first finger, we've got the C major scale, okay? So try and stick with me on this, so visualize this with me. So we've got the A minor, that scale shape there. And remember, we've learned the whole thing, haven't we? The whole way up, the whole way down. If we'd start that scale shape from the little finger instead, that is the relative major to your minor, okay? And it's always 1, 2, 3 semitones apart, okay? So the relative minor and the relative major are the difference of that on the guitar, okay? Anywhere you are. This could be your relative minor, this could be your relative major, okay? It's a magical thing, okay? And we're going to put it down to these shapes. So if we're thinking to start there, then we can now think, well actually this can be C major scale. I'm going to play exactly the same shape as we learned, shape 1, but I'm going to end on C. And there's our C major scale, okay? And that applies to every single one of those shapes. Okay, so with every single one of those shapes, they can also be major, okay? All we need to do is just define where the root notes are, okay? So to make this easy on ourselves for now, because we know very well that the pentatonic, we should be able to play all 5 shapes up and down the neck, okay? And that's great, that's really, really cool. We can go from shape 1 to shape 2, into a bit of shape 3, 4, and then maybe 5 if we're feeling lucky, right? So we can now do exactly the same with the full scales because we just layer on top of those pentatonic the full notes. So now if I'm ever in shape 3, I know that I can maybe add some of these full scale notes as well, okay? We'll do a bit of practice with that next time. So if I now want to think of it in major rather than minor, all I'm going to do is on key places, I'm going to remember that it starts on major. So for example, if I've got my root note at shape 1 in minor, then this one, like I said before, is going to be the major root note instead, okay? And I might as well think of that as being very firmly underneath pentatonic shape 2. Because it just sits there a little bit easier than maybe going backwards into shape 1. So that major chord, pentatonic shape 2, full scale, C major scale. Okay, so if I play my A minor bar chord, I've got shape 1 and my full scale shape 1. If I play this major bar chord, I've got shape 2 and full scale shape 2. And I can work out the rest from there, okay? That is where we're gonna start with this, okay? The other thing we can add is that if we find the root note on the A string, okay, so for example with our A minor, up here, the A minor bar chord, we had our pentatonic shape 4 and the full scale shape 4. Okay, remember doing that last time? Okay, so that's all very well and good, but of course if we've got the minor root note there, we've got the major root note here. Okay, remember it's always that distance apart on the fretboard. So we could say very clearly that when we play that bar chord, the major bar chord starting on the A string, we've got shape 5 pentatonic. It just fits neatly underneath, right? Oh! Plus, because we've layered it up, we've now got the full scale as well, okay? So, we'll put this into practice a bit more next time, because I know this can be a bit of a, it can be really tricky to get your head around to start with. We're going to use loads of little clues like that to help you through this. But basically, what you need to remember is that every minor pentatonic or minor full scale can be a major one. You use exactly the same shapes, exactly the same notes, you just start and end on a different note. Okay, on the major root note instead, okay? So let's put this into practice properly next time where we'll do a couple of jams and we'll just work this through.